You know that feeling when a conversation is over, and you're still replaying it in your head, as if you should have said something differently, added another explanation, make the thought clearer, and a quiet tension rises inside, not because of conflict, but because of the feeling that you might have been misunderstood. There are people who almost always return to such moments. They mentally rewrite dialogues, clarify, explain, expand, and from the inside, it doesn't look like weakness, rather, like an attempt to be honest, precise, understood, but from the outside, it often reads differently. Where there's a desire to clarify, they see doubt. Where there's a desire to avoid misunderstanding, they hear excuses, and over time, a strange effect occurs. The more you try to explain yourself, the less confidence others begin to feel in you. Something more subtle than simple communication is going on here. People perceive more than just words. They read the state of mind behind those words. And when a speech is filled with clarifications, additions, explanations, it can sound like a signal. I'm not entirely sure of what I'm saying. Even if that's not true, psychology describes it simply. We constantly convey to others not only information, but also our attitude toward that information. And sometimes this attitude is heard louder than the words themselves. Interestingly, such reactions rarely arise spontaneously. More often, it's a learned strategy. If it was previously important to explain yourself to avoid tension, if misunderstandings led to consequences, if situations had to be smoothed over in advance, the brain remembers this and begins to act proactively. Explain before they ask, clarify before a question arises, cover up all possible buts. Over time, this becomes automatic. And one thing is important here. This isn't a mistake, and not a flaw. It's a way of adapting. Different people adapt differently. Some withdraw, some control, some explain. There is no right option, but every strategy has its price. And in this case, the price is how you are perceived. When you explain too much, it's as if you're handing over the right to doubt your words to others, as if each of them needs additional protection. And gradually, this begins to be felt, not as a weakness, but as a lack of inner support. Although, in reality, something completely different may lie beneath the surface. Often, these are people who feel things more deeply. They notice nuances better. They formulate their thoughts more precisely. But this is precisely what creates the trap, because the desire to be perfectly understood turns into a constant need to explain yourself. And here's where the paradox arises. The more you explain, the less room there is for confidence. Sometimes a simple statement without additional commentary sounds more powerful than a long explanation, because there's silence in it, and silence is often perceived as confidence. Not loud, not demonstrative. Calm. The kind that doesn't need to prove anything. And it's not about stopping explaining yourself. It's about noticing where it's truly necessary, and where it's just a habit to reduce internal tension. And at some point, a choice arises. Leave the phrase as it is. Don't add. Don't justify. Don't clarify. And just let it be. And perhaps, in these small moments, something new begins to emerge. More calm within words, more self-support, and a different feeling in the presence of other people. If you recognize yourself in this, then there's already an understanding within, and then it can only deepen.